the next 5 years, I think we can eliminate all slums in Mumbai.
Look at your journey. You had such big wins over these years. How is the feeling like?
I don't believe in the glass ceiling that I have achieved enough. I wanted to make the school in Powai to be a better school building than in South Mumbai.
You've built so many homes over the years, right? Has the definition of home also changed for you?
A palace may have total unhappiness and a juggi jhopdi can have full happiness. मेरे पास बड़ा घर है. अरे खुशी कितनी है आपके घर में? वो नहीं है.
Talking about the older times, what were the major challenges that you faced in the earlier days?
Black money. People would not sell lands without black money. काफी underworld उस जमाने में थे हमारे line में. Entrepreneurship is about risk. I bought 250 acres of land. It was a big risk, big amount of money. I had to hide from the family the total area of the project that I had bought. पिताजी तो घबर रहे थे, सब तकलीफ में जाएंगे. People now look at it with pride. This is a jewel in the crown of the city of Mumbai. If you learn from your mistakes, the mistakes are worth it. But if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're a fool. Only 20 to 25 of the 100 startups become successful.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Welcome to the podcast.
My pleasure to be with you.
How are you doing today?
Fantastic. It's good fun.
And thank you for inviting for the breakfast. It was lovely. It was yummy.
Thank you.
All right. So there is a lot to learn from you. And I'm so lucky to be here. And it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. So let's look back at your journey. So when we talk about business in general, so there are many day-to-day, year-to-year, month-to-month wins that we have that we don't look at a larger scale in general. हम every day उसको notice नहीं करते हैं. But when we zoom out and look at your journey, you had such big wins over these years. So if you look back and you think about your journey, how is the feeling like? अभी आपको लगता है कि आप you're content with the journey you've had, you take a pride in it, or you think there is a lot more to do? अभी बहुत कुछ आगे करना है.
ये आपका बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न है. It's a very good question because ultimately what happens is life's journey is about what you want to achieve, what you want to reach. So some people are just satisfied with whatever they have done and whatever successes you have achieved and whatever you've reached. But I don't believe in the glass ceiling that I have achieved enough. मुझे नहीं लगता है कि पूरी achievement हुई है. I'm very happy with whatever I have done. There's no doubt about that. And fortunately for me, a large part of my life has been successful. So, and there are some unsuccessful issues also. And but you have to understand that the idea is as long as you have life, you must have growth. 100%. If you don't grow in life, and it doesn't mean only monetarily, you must grow in every possible way. And it's my belief that the best is still to come. So no matter what you say about the awards, the rewards and successes that I have received, I do believe that next 5 years for me is going to be much better than the last 75 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's always forward looking, and I'm not satisfied with whatever I have done up till now because I feel that there is a opportunity to move even further in terms of growth. Some people say that, oh, you want to achieve this much more? I don't know actually, because every time that keeps on changing, you know, the goalpost keeps on changing and the vision keeps on changing, emotions change. It's one thing to be a bachelor, it's another thing to be married, it's another thing to have children, it's another thing to see the children married, and it's another thing to have grandchildren, and so on and so forth. So emotions change completely. So, and it's a different type of feeling that one starts with one way, and at this point of time, you're a different person.
If you get a chance to meet 20-year-old Niranjan and he looks at your journey now, what do you think would be his feeling of 20-year-old Niranjan to look at this journey now?
If I had that vision, Durdhwani, Doordarshan, a possibility of being able to look forward to a lot of things, which unfortunately we don't have. Yes. The 20-year journey would be absolutely different because I would know where I needed to do much more, where I needed to do better, where I needed to make a change, where I would value relationships even more than I did. And I think that feeling of relationship, binding, and other things would be even stronger. Barring that, from a work perspective, yes, I don't think I would be too much different because I was aspirational at 20. Though I came from a medical family, I still had aspirations because I saw my father, who was a doctor, a ENT surgeon, Padma Bhushan, Dhanvantri Award winner. He enjoyed a great position in life. And his patients included the Tatas, the Mahindras, the Mafatlals, all the rich and plenty in the country, the political leaders of the country were all his patients. Wow. He was so popular right from the whole country, an ENT specialist of great repute. And I was a chartered accountant. I became a chartered accountant by default. And then I decided that I needed to do something because my father carried such a great reputation. Abhi, wo doctor hai. I was looking at the world of business and I was wondering, when will I attain the reputation and respect of my father? And I think that was a bigger challenge to me at that point of time and confused me completely because there were a lot of rich people in the community, yes, but they didn't get respect of what my father got. Yeah. When he went out in the community, people looked at him differently. There were people who were moneyed, but they were respected. Right. And there were people with lots of money and certainly not respected. So it was always with me in my mind as to what is the direction I wanted to take. Yeah. And I think that is the attitude which probably I didn't have any clarity at that time. Right. But now in retrospect, I think differently about what I would do.
Yeah, that's great. Did you ever want to become a doctor, by the way?
My father wanted me to be a doctor, but fortunately, my elder brother, Dr. Naveen, became a doctor. Okay. And in the process, I, by default, was a little lazy and didn't want to work as hard as my father and my elder brother at that point of time. Later, I don't know how I got into that group. But at that time, I didn't want to do. And I found commerce was much easier subject than medicine. And it was longer and more difficult. So I took up commerce and did my BCom.
But now you do have a doctorate degree and you are Dr. Niranjan.
Yeah, I even did my chartered accountancy at the behest of my father. He said, you have to become a professional, even if you want to do business. And there was a friend of my father, Mr. Nani Patikiwala, a very famous lawyer. He and both of them actually persuaded me to become chartered accountant, which I did. And I think that was wonderful that I do. And of course, I became a PhD at age 68.
Wow.
And partly, मेरे पिताजी डॉक्टर थे, मुझे भी डॉक्टर बनना था, इसलिए मैंने PhD की. So it was kind of...
That's beautiful.
So it is not about what I wanted to become, but I thought, पिताजी खुश होंगे. बोल रहे हैं ना, डॉक्टर बनो, बन गए.
Right.
Though different type of doctor.
बिल्कुल. That's beautiful. And I want to understand young Niranjan more. Yeah. Let's talk about your childhood. So how were you as a child and how was your upbringing like? You've talked a lot about your father, so I also wanted to understand about your upbringing.
So I was very, very attached to my father. And my wife, Kamal, she joked all my life till my father was alive that when Niranjan was born, the doctor, the obstetrician cut the umbilical cord with the mother but forgot to cut it with the father. So my attachment with my father was tremendous right from my youth age, and he encouraged me in school. He would come and drop in, though he was very, very, very busy doctor. He would, give me, his clinic was very close to my school. So even after school, I would go to his clinic, and sometimes he would arrange tuitions in his clinic, and he would drop in between two patients and see me. He pushed me to learn swimming, and I became good at that in my school. And he encouraged me to do a lot of extracurricular activities, scouts and NCC. So, he literally pushed me into lots and lots of things, which I think I remember my father's connect to kind of encourage me and push me. And even when I got into the world of business, he was petrified and with whatever I was doing. But, and he would always advise me, do this, ye karo, wo nahi karo, ye karo, wo nahi karo. And when I listened to him or I didn't listen to him, he never told me afterwards, I told you so.
Okay.
वो कभी नहीं कहा. But when I did what he suggested and I did it well, he would compliment me. But he would never kind of beat me down or look down upon me or speak anything wrong. Though I knew, मैंने उनका सुना नहीं और लेकिन और काम नहीं हुआ, तो उसके बारे में वो निंदा नहीं की. कभी ऐसे नहीं कहा कि मैंने कहा था ना, ऐसे कभी नहीं बोल. उनके वो एक खूबी थी.
जी. आप अपने फादर से इतना अटैच्ड हैं एंड यू टॉकिंग अ लॉट अबाउट हिम, तो ऐसे कुछ लेसन्स जो आपके फादर ने आपको दिए हो या आपको अभी भी याद हो, उन्होंने ये कहा था मुझसे, एंड आई डू रिमेम्बर, आई डू फॉलो दैट.
ओके, एक कहानी आपको कह रहा हूँ.
जरूर.
वो 80 साल के थे, डॉक्टर, प्रैक्टिसिंग डॉक्टर. और एक दिन मुझे कहते हैं कि मैं जर्मनी जा रहा हूँ एक डॉक्टर से नए ऑपरेशन सीखने के लिए. आई एम गोइंग टू जर्मनी टू लर्न अ न्यू ऑपरेशन फ्रॉम अ डॉक्टर. I said, Daddy, you're now 80 plus. How can you go to Germany to learn a new operation? So he said, this doctor, he's learned a new operation of the mastoid area, and I'm going to learn from him. So he said, Dr. Plester from Germany, and I will spend about 10 days with him. So I said, Dr. Plester? Isn't he the same doctor who 15 years ago came to learn an operation from you, the cancer of the head and neck region of the tongue flap? He said, yeah, same doctor. I said, जो young doctor आपसे सीखने को आया 15 साल पहले, उसके पास आप अभी जा रहे हैं कुछ नया सीखने के लिए. He said, he taught me a lesson. You can learn all your life. And you should always be a learner all your life. No matter what position in life you have achieved or wherever you have succeeded, always be a learner. And he went to Germany, learned the operation. I don't know how many operations he did later on because he got Parkinson and may not have done many operations of the new type. But the fact that he wanted to learn all his life. So हम लोग सोचते हैं कि हम B.Com किए, CA किया, ये किया, वो किया, उसके बाद में कोई सीखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. So one thing very clearly I learned from my father, that you have to be a learner all your life if you want to be successful, if you want to be good, you want to be there. And I think that has stood to me all the time, that even today I'm a learner.
Yeah. Even in the beginning of the podcast when I asked you the question कि अभी भी आप क्या फील करते हैं आप अपने करियर के बारे में, तो then you said कि I am still carrying it with the same zeal. Yes. So you still have the same zeal to learn, and you've definitely carried it from your father.
And I think it's an important part of it because and now things are changing so rapidly. So all the more reason why technology is changing, new ideas are coming, structures are coming. There is availability of so much which is available and easy to learn because of the internet and systems like that. So I think learning is not really going to be, it's a thing I learned from my father and it stays with me.
That's great. That's great. And talking about the changing environment, changing things, you've built so many homes over the years, right? Has the definition of home also changed for you over the years?
One is the physical part, which is the house that you make.
Right.
I want to make houses which are better, more sustainable, more beautiful than ever. So when I started life started Powai, which you talked about, I thought that the house that I build in Powai should be better than the house in Malabar Hill,
Okay.
where the rich and
Right.
famous stay.
Right.
Then I built a school in Powai. And I studied in Campion School, one of the best schools in South Mumbai that I studied in. I wanted to make the school in Powai to be a better school building than in South Mumbai. When I built the hospital, my father was a doctor in 3 prominent hospitals in South Mumbai. At those days, those were the top. Bridge Candy, Bombay Hospital, Just Lok Hospital were the cream hospitals, and he worked in all the 3. And I wanted to make a hospital better than anyone, and it's named after my father, Dr. Hiranandani. So the concept was that you have to bench yourself at a different benchmark of everything. So when you're making houses, apartments, buildings, schools, or hospitals, the idea is to target the best. But there is a second aspect of that. And that is when you talked about a home. Yeah. A home can be in a jhopda. A home can be a chawl. A home can be a house in Malabar Hill, Powai, Thane, Panvel, wherever you can have your house. But every house is not a home.
Agreed.
A palace may have total unhappiness, and a juggi jopri can have full happiness.
Right.
So when we talk about houses, I am very good at that. But home आपको बनाना है, मुझे बनाना है, मेरा घर मुझे बनाना है, आपके घर आपको बनाना है, और उसमें बहुत ही अंतर है. So that is what is there. Somebody has a big car, but he's not happy. Person has a very small car. पहले वो जिंदगी में उनके पास स्कूटर ही थी और वो कभी गाड़ी में बैठे ही नहीं, और आज गाड़ी खरीद लिए तो उसकी खुशी कितनी होती है. उसको चिंता नहीं है मर्सिडीज बेंज या कुछ भी गिने. लेकिन so what I'm saying is the secret of life is not only to get a great house, which I manufacture, but to have a home which only you as a person who buys it or rents it or stays in it will actually make it into a great home. Absolutely. So ये दोनों में लोग मिक्स अप कर लेते हैं. मेरे पास बड़ा घर है, अरे खुशी कितनी है आपके घर में, वो नहीं है. एक दूसरे का मतभेद है, एक दूसरे बाप बच्चे के साथ बैठते नहीं है, वो कनेक्टिविटी कुछ नहीं है. वो घर नहीं, घर होगा, हाउस होगा, लेकिन वो गृहस्थी जो है, मुलाकात रहती है ना, वो you have to work hard to make your home and continue to do it. And I think this distinction is sometimes not understood by people who have money. Maybe because वो छोटे घर में तो वो रहना ही है ना साथ में, तो ऑटोमेटिकली हम लोग साथ, हम 3 भाइयों एक रूम में सोते थे और कितनी खुशियाँ होती थी. मैं नाना नानी के घर पर जाता था नागदेवी स्ट्रीट में, एक कंजेस्टेड एरिया में. हम 5 लोग जबरदस्ती एक ही रूम में सोते थे. हाँ, दूसरे खाली रूम हो, लेकिन नहीं, हम लोग 5 ही बच्चे साथ में सोते थे. Okay, when I was very young.
5 brothers?
No, cousins. Okay. Cousins. We were cousins over there, 5 cousins. Big family from my Nana Nani's side. And we would meet sometimes. And what fun. None of us wanted to sleep. Nobody wanted to go home. और वहाँ रहते थे, रोते थे, गाते थे, मस्ती करते थे, सब कुछ करते थे. आज भी याद है कि हम 5 के थे. आज के तारीख में 5 लोग एक रूम में सोने सोच भी नहीं सकते.
Right.
ये बात है. तो इसलिए खुशियाँ और घर की बात अलग होती है, और हम जो बनाते हैं वो अलग है.
Right. I think little things make a house a home, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And I also wanted to know कि आपको entrepreneurship bug कब bite किया? Did you always wanted to become an entrepreneur?
Actually, right from my young age, I used to watch my father's big patience. The Birlas,
Yes.
Mafatlals, Tatas, Mahindras, they were all my father's patients. उनके पास बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियाँ भी थी, बड़े बड़े फैक्ट्रियाज, मिल ओनर्स होते थे. तो एक ऐसे था मन में कि एक दिन कुछ ऐसे करना चाहिए तो मैं भी इतना बड़ा कुछ करूँगा. लेकिन जब हमने शुरुआत की काम करने में तो वो एक मकसद था, लेकिन वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं रहा बाद में. लेकिन जब at my younger age, yes, that was the vision that I had and I thought that I did. But once I started work, the mind was very small. In the sense, I just wanted to succeed in that small extension building, one building and whatnot, and keep on growing that. After that, I don't think I am looking at myself in comparison with anybody. और वो 5-6 साल में वो बात छूट गई. वो मेरे मन में कभी नहीं रहा कि मुझे अंबानी होना है या अदानी होना है या टाटा होना है. वो नहीं था और नहीं रहा है. पता नहीं कब वो परिवर्तन आ गया
जी.
बहुत जल्दी परिवर्तन आ गया और मुझे खुशी होती है कि मैं जितना भी करता हूँ ना, उसमें मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मैं ये इतना तक भी कर दिया. वो भी बहुत खुशी आती है. ऐसे नहीं रहता है कि वो मुझसे अच्छा किया या ये बड़े बन गए, इसके पास ज़्यादा पैसे हैं. ये कभी बहुत पहले से ही नहीं है. मैं पता नहीं वो कैसे आए. मुझे लगता है मेरे पिताजी के वो विचार थे. एज अ डॉक्टर ही वॉज वेरी सेटिस्फाइड इन टर्म्स ऑफ द मॉनेटरी साइड ऑफ इट. And I think that remained with me, and that is most unlike a businessman's son.
So we were talking about your real estate journey as well. तो जैसा हम अभी आपसे पहले बात कर रहे थे, when we used to think of real estate back in 70s, 80s, थोड़ा अलग ही पर्सपेक्टिव था रियल एस्टेट के बारे में. So it was a risky job, it felt like. It required a lot of capital investment, and there were also shadows of mafia and underworld. So what made you pursue that field, that career?
I didn't get into the field thinking about those things. Yeah. I got into the field thinking that, it's a business.
Yes.
And I got into it. But then when I did the holistic perspective, what you're saying सही है. काफ़ी अंडरवर्ल्ड उस जमाने में थे हमारे लाइन में और प्रसिद्ध थे. उनके बारे में काफ़ी फिल्म भी बनी हुई है.
मैंने फिल्मों में ही देखा है.
So लोग हमें भी ऐसे समझते थे कि ये उसी कैटेगरी के हैं, बिल्डर हैं तो वैसे ही होंगे. तो ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात और ज़रा दुख भरी बात है कि हमें ऐसे लग रहा था कि आई एम नॉट गेटिंग द रिस्पेक्ट बीइंग इन द बिल्डिंग लाइन, that I'm not getting the respect which my father got. Again, all father related. So I was determined that I said, whatever I do, at least I may make little less money, but I will definitely look at it that I must get respect. And that was extremely important in my mind. And right from the beginning, from the time when people looked down upon the community of builders, till today, it's completely changed. And you have a lot of builders of repute and people who have got eminence, are looked upon by society. दिल्ली में KP सिंह साहब हैं, DLF का करते हैं, बॉम्बे में कितने हैं, लिस्टेड डेवलपर्स हैं और बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं. कॉरपोरेट्स भी आए हैं, टाटास, बिरलास, अभी सब महिंद्रास, सब अभी रियल एस्टेट में आ गए हैं क्योंकि ये लाइन की रेपुटेशन बदल गई है. और ये खुशी की बात है कि ये मकसद मेरे मन में था कि हम जितना भी काम करते हैं, whatever work we do should give us respect. People should trust you and should have good feelings when they actually deal with you. These are important aspects. So that has been the cornerstone of the Hiranandani real estate business. इसलिए ये जो 70 में जो प्रॉब्लम्स थे वो अभी नहीं है. थोड़े पॉलिटिशियंस हैं बीच में, लेकिन उसके अलावा बाकी कोई ऐसे बुरा काम रियल एस्टेट में नहीं हो रहा है.
Definitely. When you talking about the older times, what were the major challenges that you faced in the earlier days?
Black money. Very difficult. Very difficult. Because lands, people would not sell lands without black money. It was a very tough time. And fortunately, that has changed and really has made it a clean business. And I think that is extremely good, which has happened in the industry. Barring some corruption items in terms of some of the segments of approvals and other things, barring that, that you can now get land full with white, you can do construction with white, you can sell in white, और जो लोग घर खरीदते हैं उनको भी लोन मिलते हैं बैंकों से. तो इसलिए ये बहुत ही परिवर्तन आ गया है और मैं समझता हूँ सरकार ने काफ़ी मेहनत की है कि इसको चेंज किया जाए. And it has happened. There is still remnants in the country that is still into bad shape, but I think it is improving, and I think in a couple of years you will see it being an absolutely super clean business like any other.
Right.
Yes.
And real estate is actually booming. And what are the key qualities that you see in yourself that made you a successful real estate business?
The belief that quality is important. जो घर में खरीदता हूँ वो ऐसे बनाना चाहिए जो मैं जाके रहूं तो I will be satisfied.
Right.
So it should be structurally strong. It should be done well. It should have proper amenities. It should be proper waterproofing. छोटा घर हो, बड़ा घर हो, उसमें कोई वो नहीं है. छोटे घर भी खुशी लेती है, अच्छा काम करना चाहिए. So first belief is quality of work. Second is trust. Yes. आप तनिष्क ज्वेलर्स हैं, टाटास करते हैं. कभी शंका नहीं होती है कि वो उसमें कोई मिलावट होगी. 18 कैरेट तो 18 कैरेट, 24 कैरेट तो 24 कैरेट. वैसे ही आप हिरानंदानी से डील करेंगे तो you know you will get what you commit. True. So that's the important part, trust. That's the second most important thing. Quality. Second is trust. And over a period of time, brand. कि आप हमेशा अपग्रेड करते रहेंगे. आज की तारीख में आपकी क्वालिटी यहाँ है, कल उठ के चेंज किया, लेकिन चेंज फॉर द बेटर, सो यू गेट ए थिंग. सो कंसिस्टेंटली द ब्रांड इज क्रिएटेड फॉर द होल थिंग, एंड वंस यू क्रिएट अ ब्रांड, ट्रस्ट फॉलोज. सो क्वालिटी, trust and brand. And brand means trust, but brand is superior to trust because it is then recognized in the market. Yeah. So कोई ऐसे हो चाहे आप individually may be trustworthy, but you may not be a brand today. But tomorrow you'll be a brand. And it's there in every field of activity.
Yeah.
That is important.
Right. And earlier I was talking about that you had mentioned in many discussions that you have always been a risk taker. Yeah?
Yes.
So आपको ऐसा लगता है कि this is a very important quality that a business owner or a startup owner should have or an entrepreneur should have?
Entrepreneurship is about risk.
Yeah.
Some people take small risks, some people take bigger risks, some people take very big risks. But it is about risk. Your profit or loss depends on your risk-taking ability. Your creative power is going to be about your risk-taking ability. Startup is about taking risk. Yes. So it's always the business about risk is always there. While if you're a good professional, there is no risk-taking after you have established your professional capability. Or risk is mitigated. That's the advantage of being a very good professional. While if you're in the business of business, risk is always going to be there for the next product, next type, next step, or next whatever you want to do. I may take this much risk, somebody will take this much risk, somebody will take this much risk. You may be this much successful, you may be this much successful, you may be this much successful. बड़े रिस्क लेते रिवॉर्ड भी कम हो सकता है, छोटे रिस्क लेते बड़ा भी रिवॉर्ड हो सकता है. But that is the world of business.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. I have taken many big risks,
Right.
and I think my children are taking bigger risks than what I have taken.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What are, can you mention one of the risky decisions that you have taken and those turn out to be successful ones?
So I'll tell you both.
Yeah.
Okay. Which have been successful and not successful.
Both.
All right. So first I'll tell you not successful.
Okay.
So I was bidding for a plot in Sitco in New Bombay, and 4 times I lost the bid. Means I didn't get the plot.
Right.
Or 3 times. And I gave instructions that no matter what it is, you overbid and then take the plot. Next time you take a bid in Navi Mumbai. So we bought the plot, and I was very happy because बड़े रिस्क लेते हैं. निरंजन हिरानंदानी बड़ा रिस्क लेता है और सक्सेस करता है. तो यही था मन में कि मैं बड़े रिस्क लेके जीत जाऊंगा. Unfortunately for me, that became a failure. So it was one of my only projects, land which I purchased, which gave me a cash loss. लेकिन मैंने प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट किया. 14 और बिल्डर्स खरीदे और वो लोग पूरा नहीं किया in the same area.
Right.
And some of them surrendered back and got back the money from Sitco. I completed the project at a loss, but I made a good project and people are still happy with it.
Wow.
So, but I made a loss. So that was my loss project, taking a big risk. The other risk was buying Powai. I bought 250 acres of land. It was a big risk, big amount of money. Nobody would have dreamt it. I had to hide from the family the total area of the project that I had bought.
Yeah.
छुपा रखा. बाद में तो सबको पता पड़ गया, लेकिन it was too late. पिताजी तो घबरा रहे थे कि ये क्या किया बेटा, कर रहे हो क्या, हम सब तकलीफ में जाएंगे. ठीक है, but ultimately, as people now look at it with pride that this is a jewel in the crown of the city of Mumbai. But the point is that risk can be a profit-making risk. It can be a loss-making risk. But I think people do take risks, and entrepreneurship is all about that in the world, and it's part of.
Right. And you were talking about the losses also that you've had while you were taking risks. What have you learned from your failures?
Oh, failures teach you much better as to what the whole thing is. Downsides in the economy teach you so much. All these things give you experiences of what you should not do and the manner in which you should mitigate your risk. Also, the fact that, let's say, for instance, 2008 downturn, there were international investors who had invested with us. They backed out of the investment because 2008, they even filed a fraud case against me in the International Court of Justice. So all those things happened. But then you suddenly realized that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. But that's hindsight. But you learned from the experience of what you did by dealing with these international investors.
Right.
And you won't make the similar mistake again. That's all. So the only good thing about making a mistake is if you're willing to learn from it. ऐसे नहीं होना है मैंने भूल की दोबारा वही भूल करना नहीं.
Right.
वो नहीं करना चाहिए.
Right.
बस if you learn from your mistakes, the mistakes are worth it.
Yeah.
But if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're a fool. That's important, not from anything else.
Agree. And when we talk about the past 2 decades, the startup culture has been on the rise, especially in India and abroad as well. So whenever we talk about young entrepreneurs, कभी भी failure आता है या downhill जाते हैं, तो they start doubting themselves, right? So has that happened with you as well when you've dealt with the low times? Did you ever doubt yourself?
All the time. Yes. Of course, you have to question yourself. You have to have doubt about what you have done. कहाँ हमने भूल की, कैसे किया, किसके ऊपर भरोसा किया, क्या किसने आपको राय दी, कोई रास्ता आपने सही क्यों नहीं देखा, कौन आपके साथ जुड़े हुए थे, क्या था जो गलत है, कैसे मार्केट्स चेंज हो सकते हैं, क्या परिवर्तन आ सकता है, गुड टाइम्स फॉलो बैड टाइम्स फॉलो गुड टाइम्स, आर यू एबल टू हैंडल द कंपनी ड्यूरिंग बैड टाइम. अच्छे समय पर तो हर एक आदमी जीतता है, यू नो, बट you know, look at the unique failures in businesses beside Mera Naam Joker. One of the best pictures of Raj Kapoor was a financial failure. And after that, the family made fabulous money from the same money, but after his death. So, you know, but there is so much learning in every failure that you do. And I'm sure that if you make failure your learning, and if a person is working in a downturn of the economy and then is able to come up again, that is the person who is going to be the strongest person. क्योंकि वो क्या बोलते हैं, आग से जले हुए ऊपर आया है ना, तो उसके बाद में उसकी ताकत 100 गुना ज़्यादा होता है. So not to get scared of failures, but to learn from it and become stronger after the failure.
Right. And whenever you've dealt with the failures and low times in your life, who were those people who you relied on, or who were the pillars in your life?
I think my wife has been my biggest pillar, very big supporter, Kamal. My father was a very big supporter, and the other people. And at different times, different people from outside will fill up. इसमें एक बात मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, हम लोगों को जिंदगी में काफ़ी लोगों को मदद करते हैं. So I've helped him, okay? And at the time of difficulty, I think these 4 will help me. ऐसे नहीं होता, लेकिन कर्मों का फल हमेशा मिलता है. कोई न कोई ईश्वर भेज देता है आपको मदद करने के लिए. वो 4 आपको करें या नहीं करें, लेकिन मैं कर्म में बिलीव करता हूँ कि आप कर्म करते जाओ, वो थैली में आपका पुण्य डालते जाओ, कहाँ ना कहाँ ईश्वर हमको देते जाएगा. सो इन द डिफिकल्ट टाइम्स, it is not necessary that the people you helped or you supported and you expect that those people only will help you, may or may not happen.
Right.
But somebody will help you because you have put your good work in the box of karma and punya. ये दोनों आप करते जाओ, कहाँ ना कहाँ उसका फल मिलता ही है. और मैं ये बिलीव करता हूँ, कुछ बाकी रह जाएगा ना, तो आगे के जन्म में भी आपको मिल लेगा. तो इसलिए पुण्य का काम करते रहना है.
बिल्कुल.
I will not stop from doing it, and I am absolutely a firm believer. I have seen hundreds of times people who have been good to people, but at that time their families run away, their friends run away, their other people who were supporting them ran away, their own employees run away. सब कोई भाग जाता है क्योंकि वो तकलीफ में है. लेकिन ऐसे कोई ना कोई आके खड़ा रह जाता है कि आपको सपोर्ट करने वाले होते हैं, हमेशा रहता है. हाँ.
राइट. अभी की बात करें, अभी की जनरेशन की बात करें, when we actually look at our previous generations, हमारे पेरेंट्स के काफ़ी रिश्तेदार, दोस्त, बहुत लोग रहते थे उनके साथ. They had a lot of people in their lives, right? But when we talk about our generation, we don't have a lot of a big circle or people. There are only 2-3 people who we do connect with. So how important it is to have a certain set of people in your lives who will be there besides you always?
I think it's a mental thing also. Some people are very happy to have 500 people around them. You see politicians, all of them require a lot of people. We also have a lot of acquaintances. I also have a lot of acquaintances, maybe in tens of thousands. But core group, maybe 10 people. So वो रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो 5-6, कभी-कभी एक ही बहुत, उस एक से ज़्यादा भी ज़रूरत नहीं होती. तो वो सही मित्र आपका हो, सही सखी आपका हो, वो बहुत हो गया. आपको 10 भी ज़रूरत नहीं होती है, पर कोई ना कोई चाहिए जो आपके पास है. आज सुबह में मैं एक वो देख रहा था, पॉडकास्ट इंटरव्यू देख रहा था. दीपिका पादुकोण बोल रही थी कि मैं हमेशा मेरे मदर के साथ बहुत क्लोज रही हूँ और हमेशा उनको बताती थी कोई भी बात जो मैं गलत सोचती थी वो भी मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड के बारे में भी मेरी मदर को कह देती थी।
Okay.
तो ये बात एक जन से शेयर करने से भी इतना मुझे राहत होती थी कि मैं किसी को भी हम पहुंच पाती थी। So sometimes it's not about number of 10 people also. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's enough. But you know, the world is different. I'm connected to millions in internet, social media. वो अलग बात हो जाती है. That is a different world completely. And one should not mix that for this. बस उतना ही है.
100%. Yeah. And talking about the startup ecosystem again, over so many decades, you've seen India evolve and the startup ecosystem evolve over the years. So, what are the key changes that you've noticed when you compare the startup ecosystem in 80s to now?
There's no comparison. The startup ecosystem could not exist at that time because there was no question that people would be given that much support to a young startup which is there today. आपको अनुभव क्या है? कुछ भी नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
फिर आपके पास आइडिया आ गई, टेक्नोलॉजी आपके माइंड में है और आपको 100 करोड़ रुपया लोग देने को तैयार हो गए. तो ये एक माहौल अलग है और एक दुनिया में जो दो बातें आ गई हैं. एक कि नई आइडिया को लोग पैसे देने को तैयार हैं. दूसरी, वो आइडिया के ऊपर टेक्नोलॉजी से हम कैसे नेक्स्ट लेवल पर हम लेके जाएं, वो आइडिया हमें जो फंडिंग करने को तैयार है उनको हम समझा पा रहे और उनके पास ये भरोसा है कि ये जो पैसे हम डाल रहे हैं वो 10 गुना हो जाने वाले हैं. तो इसलिए स्टार्टअप कल्चर बना है और काफ़ी ये लास्ट 10 साल 10-12 साल से काफ़ी प्रसिद्ध हो गया है. इट्स बिकम क्वाइट पॉपुलर एंड इट्स वर्किंग. सो बट रिमेंबर वन थिंग, that out of every 100 startups, 75 are failures. So only 20 to 25 of the 100 startups become successful. And one becomes very, very, very successful. So startup culture में भी काफ़ी failures हैं. And so don't think that it is very easy that all startups are working.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but it's fun. It's nice to see. ये opportunity 70s, 80s में, 90s में भी नहीं थी. ये अभी it's a 2000 plus that ये startup culture has been done and people are willing to fund and successful companies are happening and they can even IPO and even the government of India is giving tax rebates to startups and all the income for if 10 years, 2 years income you can take tax free.
Right. And talking about the real estate, what do you think will be your vision for the next 10 to 20 years in the real estate culture in India?
I'm 75. I don't think 20 years. I think 5 years. So the next 5 years, I think we can eliminate all slums in Mumbai. So that's my one target. We have 50% people living in jhoppadpattis in Mumbai. So 50% of population in Mumbai live in jhoppadpattis. It's my belief that we will be able to do it.
Do you think this is realistic? This can happen?
This is not realistic. This will happen. So it's not a question of अभी जैसे हम चंद्रमा तक साउथ पोल तक जा सकते हैं और हम यहाँ के झोपड़पट्टी को हम संभाल नहीं सकते, ऐसी बात ही नहीं है. हमारे पास है कैपेसिटी और ये होगा. So there's no question of not happening. The second is that India is already the fastest growing nation in the world. In the next 5 years, we will achieve the $5 trillion economy, which is there, which means we will have to grow more than 8% GDP. This 6% nahi chalega.
Yeah.
So we have to grow much faster, for which housing and infrastructure has to be the key part. Okay. Reason, even China, when it had double-digit GDP growth, it was based on housing and infrastructure.
Yeah.
आज के तारीख में हम 35 किलोमीटर नेशनल हाईवे रोज बना रहे हैं. daily, on a daily basis. Mumbai is going to add 300 kilometers of metro in 2 years. Cross Harbour Bridge बना रहे हैं, नए airport आ रहा है. So all these things are happening. लेकिन ये दोनों अलग है. ये मैक्रो बात कर रहा हूँ और ये माइक्रो है. यहाँ घर गृहस्थी का अपने को देखना है कि हर एक को अफोर्डेबल घर मिल जाए और हर एक को हमारी झोपड़पट्टी झुग्गी से निकल के हमें घर देना है.
Right. This is your 5-year vision.
This is 5-year vision and it will happen. So there's no question of not happening. We must make it happen. I can't wait for 20 years. You know, you're a young lady and you can think of 10, 20 years. I can't. I have to try and finish whatever we have in the short period of time. So that's the aspiration model that I have for housing.
That's great.
Growth of housing will take place at about 14 to 15% next year. And I think it will continue to grow. Yeah. And at the end of five years, अभी आज की तारीख में हाउसिंग और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर 7% ऑफ जीडीपी है. जब $5 trillion होगा तो 15 से 20% will be the component of housing.
Yeah.
So growth in housing will be huge.
Yeah.
Affordable housing, the housing for the poor, affordable housing, housing for middle class, housing for luxury and housing for the rich. ये सब हो जाएगा. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, रोटी कपड़ा मकान.
Yes.
प्रधानमंत्री ने रोटी की सबको पहुंचा दी, कपड़े सबके पास है, हर एक को, गरीब को भी कम कीमत में कपड़े मिलते हैं. अभी बस हाउसिंग के ऊपर फोकस करके हमें इसको पूर्ण करना है. और 5 साल मोदी जी हैं, पूरा हो जाएगा.
Yeah, right. 5 years is a long time.
5 years is a long time for me.
Yeah, sir. And with this, we've almost come to the end of the podcast, but there is an important question that I want to ask. So, for the people who are planning to invest in real estate, do you have an advice for the people, young people especially?
So, every young person should go and buy a house. It doesn't matter, small, big, whatever it is. Today, and they can't think about it now. They think of only renting just now, but they should also think about buying a house. Because when you grow up, the opportunity of buying a house and the benefits which the government is giving just now in terms of income tax deduction, housing loans are available at the cheapest rate of interest as compared to any other loan in any other business. It's 8.5% just now, and it will come down. It will 0.25 will be reduced next week because of the announcement by the governor of the RBI. So you must buy a house in the next 10-15 years. छोटा घर खरीद लो, कहाँ भी है, try to get it. It becomes automatic saving, and also the government helps you because you're getting tax deduction for this to be done. So that's my belief, that the young people should go for a house sooner or later. You may not buy it in the place where you're working. It may be buying in your hometown, or it may be in a remoter area where the prices are lower. So I think it's there. But you must buy from a person who is trustworthy. People just buy a house from anybody. That I think is dangerous, and it may not get done, as has happened in many of the development. So you have to be a little clever and see that you buy. When you buy a sari, you're very particular from where you buy it. So why not, when you buy a house, also buy it from a person whom you can trust, you know?
True.
So you have to do that. So I think you have to get into buying a house sooner or later.
Great, sir. Great advice for our young viewers. I'll take you to a short rapid fire round. This will be a fun one. All right.
No, but all my talk with you was fun.
Really? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
That's amazing to hear. All right, sir. Let's start the rapid fire. One city in the world you'd love to build home in?
Kashmir.
Okay, that's great. And why so, sir?
No, it's a lovely place.
Yeah. If you want to live outside India, which city would you choose?
Either Dubai or London, because my grandchildren stay there.
Okay, all right.
And they're lovely cities, but more because my grandchildren are there.
Sweet. Okay. Investment you wish you hadn't made?
I told you that I told you in New Bombay, that plot of land where I made a cash loss.
Right.
But I learned from it. So I don't have a regret, but I made a cash loss.
Yes. If someone made a biopic on your life, what would the title be?
Sapno ka shahar.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And if I would ask you one message for the listeners of People of India.
देश के ऊपर भरोसा करो, भारत हमारा है और उसको ऐसे ऊंचाई पर ले जाए कि लोग देखते ही रहे.
Beautiful. Beautiful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for giving your precious time to us.
Thank you. My pleasure.